Have you set resolutions? Have you pulled out the one word for your year? Or would you like something that works a little better than that? You're listening to the Confidence Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Charles Gustafson. I'm a strategic marketing consultant turned certified image consultant, certified professional life coach, best-selling author, and award-winning international success mentor, where I teach growth-focused entrepreneurs, professionals, and community builders how to transform their self-belief and personal brand presentation into a superpower, all aimed at helping you see yourself differently so you can live a life filled with more intention, joy, and success. I'm glad you're here. Let's jump in. Hi, folks. Hello. I'm going to start this video, this podcast, this cast, whatever you're watching, with a story. A very good friend of mine who owns a dog named Frank, you know who you are, gave me some good advice. Now, usually I'm the one giving a lot of advice out here in these streets, but he gave me some really good advice over the last few weeks. And he said, I have my trusty book, so I'm reading. He said, just create. Just make something. And when he said it, it was in a very loud lounge. And so the loudness of the world really, of that bar, mimicked the loudness of the world of things that sometimes knocks you off track about why you want to do something, what's important for you to do. And even in the loudness of that lounge bar, fun time, everything seemed to fade away and get really quiet. Because he was absolutely right. I had lost the enthusiasm of simply creating something. Just creating it. And I thought about it over the next few weeks and thought, what do I just really like to create? Like, what do I just want to, can I just do without thinking, with ease? And you know what it was? Talking. Now, if you've been around me for any length of time, I feel like a dinosaur on the internet, but even in my realm and my communities, or if you're a client of mine, you know, not just that I love to talk, but to give a word that might make you think about doing one thing differently. And if you're lucky enough to work with me and be in my closest circles, you know that from one simple framework, a simple idea, you can change everything in your life. And so when he said that to me in that very loud bar, everything got quiet. And I said, I just want to talk again. And so, welcome back. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is new seasons. Now, just so happens that a new year has rolled over, but you know, years are arbitrary, as my husband says, even though I like to debate that, because sometimes look, I like a new year. Like, let's be clear. I like a new year. I like a new school year. I like a new beginning. But many times at this particular time of new year, i.e. new season, the flip of the calendar, the world gets very loud about that calendar flip. And whenever that happens, I know, because it happens inside me too, that means it's happening inside you too. Sometimes it's hard to listen to what is right. And so I made notes, and I wanted to give you an idea, just a very small idea of how to think about new seasons for yourself and a way to move forward with more quiet and peace and alignment instead of frantic racing. So let me start by saying this. 19 days. 19 days is what studies have shown you have before whatever, and I'm going to do this in quotes if you're listening, resolutions go away. 19 days. That's kind of depressing out of like 365. That means that the first 2 weeks, and you've probably noticed this, the first 2 weeks out there of solutions, trying to sell you a solution, is very loud because they know it comes down to those 19 days. That if you can say yes to something, be committed to something, try something, push yes to something, hit the buy now button on something, in those 19 days, you're going to feel better about yourself, even if it's just up until that 19th day. And I know we all want to improve. I mean, I've spent 30 years helping people improve themselves. 30 years helping people improve themselves. And the thing about people who want to improve themselves is that they love getting results. So if you're listening to me, that's probably you. You like things to work. You like things to improve, to get better. And you like getting better with that. And so it's very easy for people who are wanting getting results to get trapped in that goal setting mindset, which then the world tells you you need their solution in these 19 days if you're going to get it right. And I want to share with you that you can free yourself from some of that overwhelm or a feeling left behind if you don't get right on those 19 days. And the comparison that goes along with those rush and franticness to get it done in those 2 weeks. Most of people will not make it past 19 days. They say 80% will ditch their resolutions within the 19th day of the year or of a new season. Remember, it's not just the year, but of a new season. And so I want to free you for a little bit, and I want to give you an idea of how to get around this, especially if you are someone who values doing focused work, not just hustling, and I'll put in quotes again, hard work. To me, hard work implies that it has to be difficult. The work that you do in order to get to a place where you have joy and success in your life, it doesn't have to be difficult, but it does have to be disciplined. Okay. And so if you're a person who values that and you value being yourself while you are progressing, learning about yourself while you progress, not just getting the thing done, but who am I becoming while I'm doing it? Then I have a word for you. So I want you to think about a spectrum. So if you think of from 0 to 10, just that spectrum of two ends. And on one end, you have the idea of a resolution, whether it's a New Year resolution, New Year resolution, new season resolution, new something resolution. That's on one end. And on the other end, you have the other popular way to approach a new year or a new season, which is like the one word pick. I'm going to pick my word for the year. Pick my word. Okay. That's on the other end. The problem with these two methods of trying to create direction and focus is that one is too finite and the other is too expansive. It's too broad. So when we think of a typical resolution, you'll hear it. My resolution, my goals. Okay. Those are finite. Why? Because a goal, if you think about it, has an end. You either make the goal or you don't. Think of the soccer pitch. Kick it in or it's out. It's finite. You either make it or you miss it. And the other end of the spectrum, with the one word, pick a word for the year, joy or happy or something, it's too expansive. There's no boundaries around it. And so when do you know that you've reached it? When do you know that you touch it? When do you know that it's happening? What is the boundary and reasons around that one word? And so my very first piece of advice is you need a middle ground between those two things. And very popularly in the last few years, people have started to talk about things of tension, intention. And I use the word intention when I coach my clients in a very particular way. It is not just intention. And so if you notice, like if you go out in the world and you hear intention, you'll see that intentions end up being resolutions, i.e. goals, or they're this one word intention, which is also the too broad thing. Those two popular ways to find some sort of focus in the new year will ultimately leave you floundering, because the thing that actually makes you change or helps you change is somewhere in the middle. And it helps you take action, and it helps direct your steps as you walk towards the thing that you want in life. And in order to have this middle ground, it has 3 different components. The first is to know what phase of confidence you are in at the moment. If you read my book, Show Up Confident, you know that there are 3 parts that I talk about. 1 is to renew. 2 is to energize. 3 is to prepare. And at any point in your life, no matter what season you're walking into or want to walk into or trying to walk into, you will be in one of those 3 phases. And that phase is very important to how you set your direction. And when you don't recognize the phase that you're in, it actually won't matter if you set a resolution. You'll be off by the 19th day. And if you set it based on a one word, you will fail to see the things that life is teaching you in that season because it's too broad. The second thing is that to reach this very important middle ground of intention is to use language that you can check each of your actions and decisions against. You've got to be able to check what you're doing against the thing you said you want. And if you pick just a one-word answer for your one-word intention, it's very hard to check against one word. Think about it. If your idea to be able to create more fitness and wellness in your life, how do I check that against, say, motivation or bravery? Hard. You'll be left floundering about what to do to make it actionable. And the third piece that this middle ground needs in order to create a proper intention is actually in you. It actually has to do with a quality needed to make a change. And that quality is humility. Humility is the ability to see that you don't know all the answers and that you need to learn something new. And as people, we do each learn something new in different ways. Some scour for information or inspiration. Some don't like to waste time and go straight to an expert. Some do a mix of both. But there has to be a place in you and in your heart that says, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how to do this. This is hard. I'm not sure. And in that humility, you will find a place to reach out for help in the right way to fill the gaps that exist. For anyone who wants to improve, who likes getting results, who wants to grow at the same time that they are creating results in others, there will be a gap between what you know today and what you need to know tomorrow to be your best and pull in that joy and success. And that gap, it will need to be filled with new knowledge, new skills, and new support. And usually those three things, new skill, new support, and new knowledge, has to come from something and from someone who knows more than you. And that's where humility comes in, because you don't know it. And the thing about it is if you surround yourself with people who know the same thing as you, it's quick to fall into the trap that feels like you're moving forward, but really you're just listening to more outside forces that don't move the bar forward. And that is how, in the first 19 days of any new season, 80% of people ditch the ideas, resolutions, intentions that they wish they could achieve. I hope that makes sense. So I want you to think of that spectrum. Have you set resolutions? Have you pulled out the one word for your year? Or would you like something that works a little better than that? Understand that these three pieces of the solution that actually moves you forward and frees you from the finite while also giving direction to the expansive has to do with you, your humility, what phase of confidence you are in, and language around your intention that allows you for it to be actionable and real. And when you get it right, you get to feel that the journey is your own. Comparison falls aside. The overwhelming options of how to get things done seems to fade away. And you get to sit with what is right for you, which in the end, for any new season, that's all we're looking for. What is right for me? I hope that helps. And I want to say a very heartwarming thank you to my friend who simply gave me a word to just create so that I could share it with you. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now. Thanks so much for listening. I know you can tell that I believe that a confidence mindset is something everyone who wants to make an impact needs. A shift in confidence can change your life. You can explore my book, Show Up Confident, explore how I work with my clients, and see their amazing results and breakthroughs too. It's all at huanstyle.com, and start to see how making the image, mindset, success connection can create a breakthrough in your life too. I can't wait to see you there. Bye for now.